Broadsword calling Danny boy.
Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Today, another game of interplanetary I Spy going on here in Gale Crater on Mars. This is Sol 590, and it's a location called the Kimberley. These images were taken a couple of years back by the rover. I'll zoom out of this just to show you where to look on the Gigapan site. So all you got to do is Google Gigapan Mars, and this will come up. And you can type the number in the search box here, or the name Kimberley, and it will come up. So here we are. Just here we have what looks like a strange sort of stick object sticking up from the ground here. It's just behind this rock here, and it's sticking up. Now this won't let you zoom in very far. So what you need to do is use an image clipper or print screen type thing like this, and take a clip of it. Let's discard that, I've already got this. Take a clip of it, and then you can zoom in and have a closer look. Now it's quite small. Now this thing, it may be quite long, but we're only seeing the top of it. I think it's probably only about 1 foot tall, and it's leaning slightly to the right. So I've taken clips of this particular thing, and I've got them up here, as you can see. Now you can tell these are from the Gigapan because it's got the Gigapan logo here written on the bottom here, and the sort of zoom signs and stuff here. So here's the same spot. Now it's really quite hard to find, and it is really quite small. This may only actually be, here it is here. It may only actually be 5 or 6 inches tall. I can't actually tell you because the problem is there's no real frame of reference in this image to actually compare it to. So, but when you get a bit closer and zoom in, this is what you get, and it's really quite vague. The quality isn't brilliant of this particular panoramic. It's not terrible, but it's not brilliant because it's been compiled using substandard NASA images to start with. But you can tell it's not a rock, and the rocks don't tend to stick up like that with an arm. And if you look carefully, you can see what looks like a loop here. Some kind of loop on the end of it. Now, I spent a while looking at that thinking, what could that be? You guys might have some ideas what it might be, but my interpretation of it is, and I'll show you what I've got. I'll show you a close-up first before I show you the comparison. It doesn't really get any clearer when you zoom in. I mean, this has been enlarged as well, and that's about as good as it gets. You can muck around with the contrast like I have here. Let's get a bit closer, just so you can see a little bit of detail. It looks to have a loop here on the end, so it could be a metal rod, it could be made of wood, don't really know. But the only thing I could find on Google Images that of any similarity at all really was one of these. Now this is a post for a temporary electric fence of the sort used to keep livestock in an enclosed space in a farmer's field or something. Okay, so that's the only thing I could find that had that sort of loop on the end of it. Now I could be way off the mark here. If any of you out there have got an idea what else this could be, then do post a comment, because I'm kind of guessing here. So there we go. It's as simple as that. Now that got me thinking, because if this is a post for an electric fence, and it may not be, but if it is, what else in the area could be related to it? Now, I always try and piece together stuff that I've already found with stuff that I've just found. And let's move these out of the way, and I'll show you the comparison image. Now, does this remind you of anything? This thing here? Now, this is also part of an electric fence. Now, I've turned it negative just to make it show up better because it's not a great quality image, and it's got a dirty great logo going across the middle of it. So I reversed it that way. So now look at these, equally spaced, and wires coming through them, electric wires. Now this is from a proper security electric fence, this one, unlike this one here. Now here's the comparison. Now here's the one on Mars on the left, and here's one from Earth on the right. Now this is also from a temporary electric fence, which would just probably have one wire going through it at probably a foot or two off a foot and a half off the ground or something like that, for keeping things like sheep in, you know. I treated the colour on this the same as, and tried to match it up roughly with the Mars image. And if you ignore this plastic thing here on this one, it does look pretty similar. You've got sort of texture in the metal rod here, and there seems to be some texture in here. If you look really carefully, there seems to be some lighter and darker patches just there. So okay, we won't spend too long on this. Here's here's an electric fence kind of diagram. You know, this is the sort of thing. Now look at these here. Pay attention to these objects on the end, which send the charge, the electrical charge, through the wire. Okay, and also pay attention to this, like I've already showed you. Now, if you compare it to something I found previously, and this was huge across the world, this find. Let's go to here, and we have the Mars traffic light. Now, look at these. Now, look at the blue one on the end here. That's the enhanced one on the end, on the right. And now take a look at that. Now, it's not the same, but it's similar. It's very similar, and especially to this. This is a short sort of electric fence. Look at the shape of these round objects here. I don't know what these are actually called. If anyone could comment about that, I don't actually know what those are called. I just found the image and thought that looks very similar. Now, if you compare these two images and then compare it to this, it's really similar. And when this is part 2 of the Mars traffic light, which I did an update on, because there is another part that fits onto this where there seems to be a big sort of round part missing just here. Now it was only named a traffic light after I did a competition on my website, this one. And I never really knew what to call it, but I think now I'm starting to understand what it might be. This may be the top part of an electric fence, not a traffic light at all. And the Mars cannon, or railroad lever as I've called it, may also be related. I mean, this could be a traffic light, who knows, but it looks to be more like part of an electric fence, the very top part. And this may go down into the ground a long way. This could be 6 foot, it could be 12 foot down, absolutely no idea. This is also only about a foot tall, possibly 14 or 15 inches, but no bigger than that. And that's the comparison I made, and actually it's not a great comparison. It was just the only thing at the time that seemed to fit. So there we go. I now think, when you see this reconstructed, I've put the extra ball back on where it should go. These ball-shaped objects on it here look very, very similar to this here. So, and also lots of other people, including Will It What's Up in the Sky, and lots and lots of other Mars anomaly researchers, have also found wire in various places hanging off rocks, and there may even be some more in this big image here. I mean, there's bound to be. I mean, but the thing is, unless it's up fairly close, you're not really going to see it. But this could well be. I mean, I'm just trying to do a bit of detective work here and piece together the evidence found so far in this area, and it's all leaning towards there being some kind of electric fence, or perhaps even a small railway or something. I mean, the other video I've got. Let me just quickly get it up here. Let's go back here. Is the lever, and that may also be related as well. Now let's go to most viewed. Right, okay. I'll try and keep this short. Don't want to keep you too long. Right, down here somewhere we have the railway. Possible. Yeah, Mars artillery cannon. Now, this is why I gave it such a long title, because I was never quite sure what this was. But this may well be related to both the electric fence post and the so-called traffic light, or what I now think is part of an electric fence. Let's turn the music down on that. Let's go in. Okay, there we go. Now, one thing a lot of people didn't notice about this, let's get in closer, there we go, is it seems to have a sort of something coming off of it here. Now, a lot of people say it looks like a tank or a self-propelled gun. It does, but this is also very small. This is probably only 1 or 2 foot tall, no more than 3 foot tall. But this seems to have like a lever coming off the actual, this long protruding part here, this handle or whatever it is. It seems to have a part coming off it, like you would put your hand in it and push it or pull it, like a railroad lever. And that's why I called it the railroad lever, because I think that's what it is. But I could be wrong. I mean, it's still down to debate really what this thing is. But it wouldn't surprise me if this thing is actually connected to both the so-called traffic light or the fence post, and there may be wires running all the way along under this sand here, and there does seem in some images to be bits of wire just below the surface. So there we go. I won't keep you too long. I'll put a couple of these images back in the end of the video so you can just see the comparisons a bit more clearly. Let's have another quick look at that. And when you compare the actual shape, it is very similar to this. And I couldn't really find anything closer than that. Let's have a quick look at the negative image there. When you see it in negative, it looks a lot clearer, and you can see this looped part here and a strange sort of hook bit sticking up. It's irregular. It could be made of iron. I don't know. It could be made of wood. I'm guessing it's made of some kind of metal, for it to be twisted around like that at the end. So there we go. Is it connected? Is it all just rocks? Don't think rocks kind of grow like that, do they really? Okay, thanks for watching everyone. I'll see you soon.